Patch 26.16 is live, and it's a patch about who is allowed to play where. Supports who have been playing second jungler get pulled back into lane. Mages who have been squatting in bot lane get taxed. The Sundered Sky jungle monoculture gets a nerf while every rival item gets a buff. And League Classic gets its first balance patch ever, where the balance lever is literally reverting changes from 2011. This is the patch breakdown.
No rework this time. Instead, Riot's own intro names 3 pushes: support roaming, bot lane mages, and jungle itemization. And almost every number on the Summoner's Rift side of this patch is evidence for one of the 3. So that's how we'll take it. Push by push, then classic, then the quick modes.
Quick note before we start, this episode was generated with AI by Demodis. The script is written by AI from Riot's official patch notes, and the voices you're hearing are synthetic. Every number we quote comes straight from the published notes, and we link all of it in the description.
Push 1. The second jungler problem.
Riot's words, supports have been roaming so early and so often that they seem to be operating as a second jungler. Their view is that as a default strategy, it damages game integrity because the support is no longer meaningfully part of a lane. So the support role quest changes in 2 ways. First, the bonus progress you got from champion combat is gone. Damage to champions and turrets now consumes quest stacks at the same rate as last hitting, 18 and 21. Fighting no longer outprogresses farming.
And the second?
The roam tax got steeper and longer. The experience and gold penalty on minions killed outside bot lane was 25% until level 3. It is now 33%, and it lasts until level 5. A support who wants to live in the river pays a third more for 2 levels longer.
One opinion, flagged as opinion. Level 5 is a long time. That penalty doesn't distinguish a Camille playing second jungler from a Bard doing what Bard has always done. If roam timing supports feel bad in a week, this is why.
And Camille is the named target. Riot says it directly. With roaming supports all the rage, Camille has been queen. And the changes are shaped to nerf support Camille, while their word, hopefully buffing top Camille. Her passive shield was 20% of max health at every level. It is now 10% at level 1, scaling to 25% at level 19. Half the shield at level 1. That is the support all-in gone.
And the compensation for top lane?
Cooldowns. The passive comes back in 14 seconds at level 1 instead of 18. W's cooldown drops at every rank. 3 seconds at rank 1, 1 at rank 5, and its outer cone damage goes up a point of max health, plus 36 more base mana. The trade is explicit. Less raw all-in power, more repeatable trading. Shield stacking level 2 Camille is dead. The spacing and poke Camille is better.
Push 2 mages in bot lane?
This one is a pincer. On one side, every ADC in the game gets more early magic resist. 27 champions move from 30 base plus 1.3 per level to 33 base plus 1.1 per level. Run the 2 curves and they cross in the mid-teens. At level 1, an ADC has 3 more magic resist. By 18, it is fractionally lower than before. It is a laning buff against mages that fades to nothing by the late game.
So MageBot still works. It just stops winning the lane on autopilot.
That is the stated goal. Riot's word is equalize, not delete. Tristana is the fun footnote. She had 28 base magic resist below the rest of the class, and jumps to the same 33, 5 extra at level 1. Riot names her and Auction as champions they hope this helps in mid lane, which feeds the jungle push too.
The boots are part of this?
Both pairs. Chain-laced crushers lose 5 magic resist. Riot says defensive boot optimization in mid lane stifles action, and they are deliberately nerfing mid's counter itemization against mages, while mage power moves from bot back to mid. Spellslinger shoes go the other way, 18 to 20 flat magic penetration, and Berserker's Greaves, the ADC boot, go from 25 to 30% attack speed, 45 at tier 3.
Push 3, the jungle and the item everyone builds.
Sundered Sky has been, in Riot's words, the meta-dominant AD fighter item for the last year, healing for more than even lifesteal items when optimized. The nerf? The melee heal drops from 100 to 90% of base attack damage, and the missing health component falls from 6% to 4%, a third off that part of the heal. In exchange, it gains 50 health, and the build path changes. The ruby crystal comes out, and the combined cost rises from 500 to 900. Add up the components, and the total price is unchanged at 3,100 gold. Same cost, clunkier path.
And everything around it got better.
The whole neighborhood. Black Cleaver gains 5 attack damage, and its move speed effect is split melee ranged because it had turned into a Smolder and Senna item. Eclipse's melee damage goes from 6 to 8% of max health. Steric's Gauge from 45 to 50% of base attack damage. Tiamat from 20 to 25. Riot's actual sentence about skipping it early is, quote, "That's pretty lame, yo." And Runan's Hurricane, which lost its entire user base this year, gets 5% move speed and bolts up to 65% of attack damage.
That's the AD side. Where does the jungle diversity actually come from?
The pets. Jungle pet damage keeps its 10% bonus attack damage ratio unchanged, but the ability power ratio rises from 12 to 16%. Armor and magic resist ratios from 20 to 25, and bonus health from 3 to 4%. Your smite pet now scales meaningfully better if you build AP or tank stats, and exactly the same if you're an AD fighter. That, plus the Sundered Sky nerf, is the whole diversity argument.
And 2 champions got moved between roles on purpose.
Nasus and Poppy. Nasus' jungle has been outpacing his top lane, so Q stacking got converged. 4 stacks on a normal last hit instead of 3, 10 on champions and large targets instead of 12. Jungle Nasus stacks slower, top Nasus faster. Poppy is the bigger surgery. Riot says she is meant to be a tank, but has leaned so far into early snowball fighting that she picks Hail of Blades and Sundered Sky over tank options. So 4 less base attack damage and Q's bonus AD ratio down from 100 to 75%, and in exchange, more health regen, more mana, a W that gives 16% total resists instead of 12, and a Q slow that now scales with bonus health. They are not nerfing Poppy, they are reclassing her.
The rest of the champion list, quickly!
Azir's Q gets 15 more base damage at every rank, a straight laning buff. Gwen's passive healing rises from 50 to 67% of post-mitigation damage with the cap raised. Most of the sustain her earlier nerfs removed comes back. Kennan's ult gets bigger resistances and more damage. Compensation for the Hextech rocket belt reshape, leaving him behind. And Belveth?
Riot's got a whole section on her here again.
And the rework, per these notes, did one clear thing. It pushed her power late. Riot now says she has come out with the scaling curve of Kale and Aurelion Soul, so they are trimming the top end. Health growth drops from 110 to 105 per level, about 85 less health at 18. And true form attack speed goes from 5, 15, 25% down to 6, 13, 20. Read the ranks carefully. Rank 1 actually goes up a point. Only the late ult pays. Plus 1 genuinely nice quality of life change. Her resource bar now turns purple when true form can spawn a Remora.
League classic. First balance patch ever, and the method is the story.
The method is time travel. Almost every change in Classic is described as a revert of a specific buff or nerf from 2010 to 2013. Blitzcrank is the #1 support, top of win rate, pick rate, and ban rate, all three. So his 2011 and 2012 buffs come back out. Q-base damage down 20 at rank 1, cooldowns up on both Q and W, and ult active damage down by 50 to 100. If the hook misses, there is now a real punish window.
Who else got sent back in time?
The whole outlier list. Tryndamere is, quote, the single most performant champion in the game in both top and jungle. His Q's Fury to attack damage conversion drops from 5 to 3 per point, with the cap down from 40 to 24. Twitch, strongest bot laner, 2 less attack damage, and his ult's missile speed cut from 5,000 to 4,000. Warwick, best performing jungler, loses attack speed. Heimerdinger, single best mid laner, loses turret and rocket damage. And Katarina is the honest one. Riot admits her ult was bugged, throwing 12 daggers over 2.5 seconds instead of the intended 10. The new maximum damage numbers are exactly 10/12 of the old ones, to the digit. That is not a nerf. That is a bug invoice.
And the buffs?
Lux is the single worst mid laner and worst support, so she gets 2011 back, 10 move speed, ult cooldown down to 40 seconds at max rank, and a bigger AP ratio. Amumu gets his 2012 and 2013 nerfs reverted. His passive shred now reaches 35 and lasts 4 seconds. Misfortune, the worst conventional bot laner, gets more damage per impure shot stack and a stronger bullet time ratio. Skarner gets a real bug fix. His ease missile was 70 units wide when it should have been 120. And smaller buffs land on Garen, Dr. Mundo, Vigar, and Soraka, with modest nerfs for Janna, Jarvan, and classic Nisus.
The ninjas! Akali, Kennen, and Shen join Classic with their old kits. Akali is the 2010 Assassin, Mark of the Assassin, Smoke Bomb Invisibility, and ammo-based Shadow Dance dashes. Kennen is the Mark and Stun Storm Ninja. Shen is the Taunt and Teleport tank with Vorpal Blade Sustain. The Classic store gets energy runes to feed them, and placeholder rune slots jump from 66 to 80% of a real rune's value. A straight buff to anyone without a full rune page.
Systems?
For that matter, ambient gold now starts at 90 seconds instead of 65, but the passive income curve is raised. Riot's own math says all champions end with about 215 more passive gold, while the best farmers roughly tread water. The early game home guard that shipped with Classic is gone. It now activates at 15 minutes, and the replacement comeback lever is death timers at levels 1 through 8 trimmed by a couple of seconds. Jungle monsters now scale to 315% max health instead of 250, fixing a durability miscalculation. And turrets get around 15% more health across the board, while the ability power conversion on tower damage is halved from 40 to 20%. Towers matter again. AP split pushing matters less.
Quick modes.
Mayhem is a fighter patch. 2 new gold augments that upgrade fighter items, upgrade Sundered Sky, and upgrade Ravenous Hydra, and Locke gets a straight tune-up. 5% more damage dealt, 5% less taken, and 20 tenacity. Arena brings Bravery back as a standing Wednesday format alongside crowd favorites, and carries 2 really silly buffs. Rek'Sai's tunnels at max rank have a 0-second reuse cooldown, and Nar's tired time is deleted. He can swap forms nonstop.
Verdict. Winners.
ADCs, full stop. More early magic resist, better boots, a buffed Runans, and their lane opponents taxed. AP and tank junglers, the pet scales for them now, and the default AD item got worse. Mid lane mages, whose counter boot got nerfed, while their penetration boot got buffed. Tank Poppy, who was just handed a new identity with scaling attached. And in Classic, Lux and Amumu, who got 2012 apologized for.
Losers.
Roaming supports, and support Camille by name. Bot lane mages, still viable, no longer free. Anyone whose build starts with Sundered Sky, which lately was most of the jungle. Late game Belveth, whose new scaling identity just paid its first tax. And Classic's entire 2011 aristocracy. Blitzcrank, Tryndamere, Twitch, Warwick, Heimerdinger, all sent back toward their launch era numbers.
The honest caveat, this is day one. The support quest numbers and the ADC magic resist line are exactly the kind of change where the real answer shows up in a week of play, not an afternoon of reading. We'll know by 26.17 whether the second jungler is actually gone.
That's the patch. Every number in this episode is quoted from Riot's official 26.16 patch notes, linked in the description. And every claim was checked against those notes before publish.
This show is unofficial and not affiliated with Riot Games. League of Legends is their trademark. The analysis is ours. Made by demades.ai. Patch 26.17 should land in about 2 weeks, and when it does, we'll be here the same day. Thanks for listening.